So the drama continues in Oakland between Draymond Green and Kevin Durant. Draymond Green suspended for what he did on the floor. Had choice words for Kevin Durant, his own teammate, and there's plenty of drama going on between the Warriors. Gentlemen, Draymond Green is in the right here. Is Kevin Durant in the right here? Are you taking sides here? Are they both in the wrong? Where do you fall in this conversation?
So, I mean, if we're just talking about in a vacuum, in that game, I thought Kevin Durant was a little bit in the wrong. I mean, I'm not saying Draymond made the right play because he didn't, but if you're Kevin Durant, you should be used to a guy like just not even looking at you and just driving down the lane and throwing up a shot because that was Russell Westbrook. I mean, dude, you were going into overtime. You had plenty of time to come back. Don't pout on the sidelines. Don't go at your teammates. Like, talk about it after the game, get that W, and then discuss it as adults.
Right. I found it interesting how this became some like giant story all of a sudden. Isaiah Thomas tweeted yesterday how every NBA locker room should have a pair of boxing gloves because this stuff happens. And it's kind of like you said, treat it like adults. And if you're going into overtime, just regroup and head into overtime. There's no need to make this big thing and then blow the game in OT, lose to the Clippers, and then you have it out in the locker room.
Pouting it out.
This happens with teams so often, and maybe it's been growing to this. Obviously, like Kevin Durant said, they keep it in-house, so we wouldn't really know that.
Well,
but you have to think there might be a little something more here because it's just sort of bizarre that it would blow up.
Oh, yeah, I think there's definitely something more here. This was like the final straw.
This was boiling. This was boiling. This is
and it boiled over. Exactly right.
This is Kevin Durant versus the Warriors right now because I think that's how they kind of feel because he's obviously hitting free agency. He's not committing to them. They're basically saying, hey, we did this without you. We can still do this without you, man. So are you in or are you out? And I think what Draymond Green said is probably what a lot of his teammates were thinking or they've said to each other. There's probably a little group text that doesn't include Durant. And they probably keep saying that back and forth. Iguodala's probably in it. Who knows? But then Draymond just kind of snapped and said what everyone was saying. And now he gets suspended. So how does that look?
Kind of bizarre. I mean, you had Klay Thompson jumping into the mix and apparently trying to calm everyone down. And he's a quiet guy.
And you had DeMarcus Cousins, a peacemaker in this situation. Like, how many times do you see that?
If you have DeMarcus Cousins acting as the peacemaker here, there are problems. It's bad. It is bad.
The fact that this is all happening before he even takes the court for them.
Yeah, seriously.
He's in street clothes. This is all happening. It hasn't even started playing
I wonder if suspending Draymond was a good move or a bad move for the Warriors because does that just divide Durant and the team?
Locker room.
Yeah, and it might be.
I mean, couldn't they have just fined Draymond, or couldn't they have kept that in house? Why did they have to suspend him for a game?
Yeah, they had to suspend him, and it almost then looks like the Warriors are trying to stay on KD's good side going into free agency, and then you start fracturing some of the other portions of the team. Like Draymond's, he could leave this summer too. So there's a lot of ways this could go.
I mean, if you're any other NBA team, you are just like giddy because the only team that can beat the Warriors are the Warriors, and this is what happens when you put a team together with so many egos and so much talent. They clash. I mean, and that's exactly what we're seeing. And credit to the Celtics, that hasn't happened to them yet, and they've got a talent on their roster. So maybe credit Brad Stevens, maybe credit guys like Al Horford, but you're not seeing that stuff that you're seeing from the Warriors or from the Rockets or from the Lakers.
I mean, there's a lot of egos in the NBA, and a lot of these teams have a lot of big egos in one tiny little locker room. And it's impressive that it hasn't happened with other teams like the Celtics, but it finally blew up a little bit in Golden State.
Well, I think that sort of thing happens when you have so many guys that have been playing together for so many years. I mean, like these things are bound to happen. But what I want to see what happens moving forward is it's not going to be a trade or anything, right? Like I don't see Draymond Green being dealt or them trying to appease to Kevin Durant just to keep him around and then have him jump ship come next summer. Like that's not something we're going to see, right?
I have a feeling we could see you know,
ask Big Baby.
Yeah, he thinks
Big Baby.
He thinks KD's coming to Boston.
Big Baby all of a sudden is an NBA insider.
Yeah, in the Instagram comments.
Jimmy. What do you mean?
Talk about the most clueless basketball player going is Big Baby. He couldn't tell you what's going on with his own team when he was on the team.
He's on the right track. He knows where to break stories, and that's in the Instagram comments. That's
deep
exactly
in the comments.
Yeah,
you know who read it was Durant because he's reading the comments.
He's with all his burners account.
All right, well, you know what? It's your turn to hit us up in the comments section. Let us know what you think. What happens here moving forward? Golden State Warriors, Durant. Draymond Green, and maybe a Kevin Durant burner account will make its way into our comment section.
So many
Who knows? It really wouldn't surprise me at this point.